completely different way, I could play you a dramatic forming, as a development, but without that traditional load of emotional expressions. And I play you the first, no, I may even play two movements, of a composition which is called Kreuzspiel, my very first work. There were still these ideas inside, and they are recurring nowadays in my work again. Because I think never anything is lost, it's just transformed and expanded, enlarged. So the development as a method of composing will always be valid. It is direction, arrow in time. And you hear now the first movement of Kreuzspiel, crossing game, and what actually happens if you hear a bit more carefully rather than listening to it as being a decorative piece, you will hear in the field of the pitches in the beginning 6 notes in the highest octave and 6 notes in the lowest octave. And they are all played by the piano. By the piano. And then one by one, each note crosses through the octaves. Etc. Finish. At the end of the first movement, the 6 notes which were in the highest octave are in the lowest, and vice versa. And the process, the development, can be clearly perceived, because when they reach now into the 2 middle octaves, the 3 middle octaves, then these notes are played by 2 other instruments, by bass clarinet and oboe. So they go through that region, and as each note is leaving the extreme position one after another, one by one, all the octaves, all the space will be filled, until there is a middle section where all the octaves are filled equally, and then towards the end of the first movement, the middle region is again emptied, and the notes are at the edges. So that is a clear development. And it all lasts 2 minutes, not longer. was the beginning of the second movement, I still thought in terms of movements. It was the first composition that I consider being my music, so to speak, music that I have composed, whereas all the works that I composed before were student works, exercises. And that was music which was very much influenced by music like Schoenberg, Beethoven, etc., very dramatic in that other sense. So the second movement of that work then begins in the middle region and spreads out until it fills all the octaves, and with the same crossing of the registers, of the octaves. And then the third movement combines both at the same time, simultaneously.